All right, guys. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, wherever you are. Okay, so today will be the second day into Linux, right? So we started Linux and we had an introduction um where we showed us how to install Linux, what is Linux, and yeah. And within the week, we give us some materials to read concerning Linux directory structure. Some books, some authors will call it the Linux file system, right? They'll call it the Linux file system. And we were also told to go and read, thank you, Linux basic commands. All right. So these are the two things we would be looking at tonight. All right. Tonight. These are the two things we will be looking at tonight. Okay. Linux directory structure. Okay. For you to understand Linux very well, for you to know Linux, you must understand the directory structure. Let me put it somewhere. I'm going to start with Linux directory structure. Okay, so for you to understand Linux, you must understand the Linux directory structure to the latter. All right, you must know this guy, and that's what I want to teach you this night. You must know it. Now, when we say you must know it, all right, before I come there. Now, the directory structure, the Linux directory structure, I want to abbreviate it to LDS. Please, if at any point you're not hearing me, please raise an alarm because I'm using an earpiece. Raise an alarm. The Linux directory structure gives you the idea of what and where resources are placed in the Linux file system. Let me take that again. It gives you the idea of what and where resources are placed in the Linux file system. It guides you, guys, listen, it guides you on where to find certain resources within the Linux file system. I'll be abbreviating Linux file system, Linux file LFS, Linux file system. So it guides you on where to find some certain resources within the Linux file system. That's what the directory structure does. I'll tell us why. This is the idea behind the Linux directory structure. All right. So now I want to start listing out the directory structure and arrange them accordingly, appropriately, all right, so that you understand. Now start defining each and every one of them, all right? So in the Linux file system, we have the following directories. In the Linux file system, we have the following directories. If you did read what I sent, the document I sent on that portal, what I'm saying now will be a refresher, to be a refresher. And if you've not seen it before, it will be the second time you are getting to see or you're getting to listen to something like this. All right. That's why I always stress when I share a material, read the material. Read the material. All right. In the Linux file system, we have the following directories. We have the /. All right. We call this guy root mount point. I'm going to explain why this guy is called a root mount point. See, it's called a root mount point because everything, let me put a disclaimer here. Note, everything in the Linux file system is a file, is addressed as a file. Let me capitalize it. So it means that if I have a hard disk, it's represented, it's addressed Victor, 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 Victor. Who is Victor? Victor, Victor, Victor. Everything in the Linux file system is addressed or represented, presented, sorry, not represented, presented as a file. No, by that I mean, if you have a flash drive, once you plug the flash drive to your physical system, Linux will see it as a file. Your hard disk, Linux sees it as a file. Anything you have on a Linux machine is seen as a file. Take note, guys. Take note. Victor. Victor. Sorry. Victor. Who is Victor, please? Oh, Victor. Okay. No worry. No worry. I remember now. I remember. It's okay. It's okay. So anything you have on a Linux machine is presented as a file. Now let's continue. The / is termed the root mount point. When we say the root mount point, it means that everything in the Linux file system is mounted, has its origin. It means every file in the Linux file system has its origin in what? In slash. In the slash. So this slash represents a lot of things. We call it the mount points. All right. Basically the mount points. So everything is directed to this guy, /. That is the first file system in the Linux file system. Now we have /root. If you notice, I didn't just say root. I said /root. /root because root is under slash. Let me represent these things side by side somewhere so that you understand this thing very well. I have a slash, right? This is the original. Oh shit, man, this thing's small. How do I do it now? Okay, great. Yes. This is the root mount point. Now I have /root. So somewhere here, I'll have the first directory, which is root /root. So it means root is under slash. The origin of root is slash. Let's continue. This, I'm defining what these structures look like, what they mean. This defines the superuser. The superuser in the Linux file system is known as root. The superuser or admin, this defines the superuser or admin's home directory. Now, the root is a user. The root, you shall hear us talking of the root user. The root user. The root user means the super user. The super user means the admin. We don't call it admin on the Linux, in Linux. In Linux, we call it super user, or you can term it the root user. On Windows, the super user is called administrator. That's on Windows platform. But in Linux, it's called root, the root user. All right, that's the name you will see, the root user. Okay. Now, the root user has a home directory. A home directory means where all the files pertaining to that user is saved. Now, when you create a user in a machine, that user will have desktop, will have his downloads, it will have his music, it will have his public folder. This is in the context of Windows. Now, assuming now, look at that. See, I have on my base machine. Let me come to my base machine. Let me go to where's that place? Okay. Oh, sorry. Where can I see that thing? All right. I have this user here. All right. This user is let me show us here on the terminal. All right. This user This user is Frank Legbossi. So this user is Frank Legbossi. Like I can see it here. Let me check. No. Wait, let me great. View. View. Why? Go to. Okay. Now go to home. If I click on go to home, let me see. Thank you. Now, this machine has two users. This is the first user, and this is the second user. There are two users on this machine. All right. Now, this is, let me show us now. This user has his home directory. His home, in his home directory, he has desktop, documents, downloads, library, movies, music, pictures, public, etc., etc. So this is where all the files pertaining to this user is being saved. If I come to Frank Legbossi, this is, I also have all those things. Downloads is here. What else? Pictures are here, movies are here, music are here, right? Public is here. What else? That's it, guys. So that's what I'm just wanted to explain to us. That the slash root is a home directory of the root user. Is a home directory, right? This defines the super user's admin home directory. So in a simple term, it is the home directory of the root user. Case closed. The next on the list is /var. This file system defines documents files. Document files, for example, you could see logs. Logs are saved in this file. Messages. Etc. But most at the time, you always find logs in this directory. I will tell us other things to come. So this directory contains document files to services. Thank you. Document files. It defines document files to services. Documents. You have it. Sorry, 1 minute, guys. Now represent our guy. Copy, paste, change the color. Let me call it /var. We have /etc. This file system defines configuration files to services. I will come to the right-hand side. Let me finish with this side. We have /dev. This file system defines device files. Devices files. Devices files are found in /dev. We have /lib. This defines libraries. System libraries. We have bin. This defines system binaries. We have sbin. This defines symbolic system binaries. Now, this guy and this guy, the contents are similar, they are the same. But the difference between this guy and this guy is that a lot of files that are here have symbolic link. We are going to explain when we get deeper into Linux. We'll tell us what is a symbolic link and what is a hard link. It's called a soft link and a hard link, right? So when you create a link, you create connection between files, all right? If I need to link file 1 to file 2, I'm going to create a link. So when we come there, you understand properly. I have /user, sorry, not /user guy, /usr. This contains library files as well, system files. We have /home. This is the home directory of an unprivileged, I will explain, guys, unprivileged user. Now, there are two types of users in a Linux machine. There are two types of users. We have the super user, the root user. Wait, there are two kinds of users. Let me do it somewhere here. Let me show somewhere here. Users. Now we have the root user. So when we want to use a technical term to define a root user, we always call a root user a privileged user. When we say a privileged user is a user that has full permission. He has full rights, total rights. It's a privileged user. It's just like the normal saying that when you want to refer a rich kid, that guy is privileged. He's privileged. His privilege means that he has everything at his disposal. Money is not his problem. Connection is not his problem. Anything he wants, he gets it. That is the meaning of privilege. That is the power that this guy has. Root has power on a Linux system. He's very privileged. So any other user that is not root, I would say normal user, a normal user who is not root, we refer those users as unprivileged. These are unprivileged users. They don't have the permission that the root user has. But they could be granted such permission that this guy has when we get to users management. We are going to explain and demonstrate how this guy can become a privileged user. How this normal user could become a privileged user. All right? Let's go ahead. So the home directory of an unprivileged user is /home. Guys, I will take us unaware from time to time. I'll just pick anybody at random. What is this? What is that? So as I'm dropping, each thing I'm dropping, guys, take the pain and get it. If you can't get it, if you're having challenges getting it, reach out. But as I drop it, go and study first before you reach out. Make sure you study first before you reach out. Take these things as I'm dropping them. If you take it word for word, my brothers, my sisters, before we finish this program by December, God's grace, by God's willing, you will beat your chest. You will stand in front of any interviewer. You speak in places. Pick it as I'm dropping it. The home directory is the home for unprivileged users. All right, the /home. Okay. So it means if I create a user in Linux, that user home directory will be under /home. When we get there, will show us. Now we have slash, oh, sorry. Slash. There's /net. This defines networking related files. We have /boot. This holds all bootable files. If you are looking for bootable files, go under /boot. If you're looking for users that are created in the Linux file system, go under /home. If you're looking for devices, go under /dev. If you need to find configuration files, go under /etc. If you need to find document files, go under /var. I'm coming. Still have more. If you remember, you can tell me. Yes, if you remember, you can tell me. /what again?
/temp.
Thank you. /temp. /opt. This defines temporary files. Temporary files. All right? But a lot of the time, this directory is empty, but you can always use it. /mnt. This defines optional files. Optional files. This defines temporary mounts. Temporary mounts. So if I need to mount a file, when we say a mount, all right, when we talk about mount means you're placing something on top of something. You're putting something on top of something. All right. So let's say, for instance, okay, look at these guys now. /var or var. Var is mounted on /. So if I need to look for var, I need to trace it to slash. Then I will see var. It's just like when you go to you go to a public place, all right? You drive your car to a public place. Here's your car to a public place. And when you get outside and you're trying to look for a place you can park your car. Let's call it park. A place you can park your car. The moment you drive your car into this park, at this material time, this park is acting as a mount point to your car. So this is where your car is mounted. That's the meaning of these guys. That's the meaning of this thing we just explained here. Your car is mounted at the park. So whenever you want to find your car, you have to go to the park where it is mounted to unmount it. To unmount it means you're unpacking it. The same is applicable to the Linux file system. By default, the Linux file system creates a directory structure, a directory called /mnt. This mnt means mount. Now you can use this mnt to mount files, to mount devices. All right. Don't get there, it will show us other things. You learn them as they come. Now, in some Linux machine, you will see things like /media. Now, /media on your virtual machine, on your physical Linux servers, you see /media. Why? Because okay, this is a temporary mount point for pluggable devices. Pluggable devices. Now, when I say pluggable devices, I'm talking about external devices, right? Pluggable external devices. I'm talking about your flash drive, your DVD-ROM drive, your CD-ROM drive, anything drive. The moment you plug it into your physical machine, your physical Linux machine, if you come to this directory, you will see that device inside of this directory. All right, but on the virtual machine, we don't have it. I've never seen it. Okay, let's continue. What else again? Is that all? Yes. Think. Is that all? div/sys bin dev etc home opt sbin temp user var.
What about service?
Sorry?
Service.
Yeah, service was most of the time you see is SVC. All right, was olden days. All right, SVC olden days. We also have /sys. Some machine has it. All right. What else again, guys?
Process.
Proc. Thank you. /proc. All right. So this defines processes in the Linux file system. See what's they happen as you read things they come up. You You have to read. It's important. You have to read. Okay. So what else again? Are we through with this?
Slash USRO.
USR is here. USR is here. USR is here. Yes. Thank you. All right. As we progress, we will get acquainted with these directory structure. Now, remember, you always have them like this. You always have them, copy and paste like this. I guess you read, guys, /etc /home, etc, etc. All right. While this guy is pointing, because they are all mounted on slash. They are all mounted on slash, etc, etc. So guys, this is the directory structure. Most important directory structures, things we shall be talking about. Directory structures we shall be using more often. /root, /var, /etc, highest. /home, /boot, we're using /opt because we are saving some kind of files there. I think that's all. That's all. We will occasionally go into /process. All right. We will occasionally we don't have business into /boot, because anything you do in that /boot, you've rendered the system useless. If you delete a file, if you delete a bootable file from /boot, you have rendered that Linux system useless. All right. All right. Then these are, we don't have business here. These are all system binaries /usro, sbin, bin, lib. They're all system binaries. Don't have business with here. They are system files. System files are there. /dev. Don't have business there. All right. So that is it, guys. That is it. So this is what we call the Linux file system, the Linux directory structure. Before we move on to the Linux, start talking about Linux basic commands. Is there any question, guys? Is there any question? All right. We are forging ahead. Okay. So for that, I need to now create I'll be using the Linux VM from AWS. All right. So I'll go through the process, of creating a VPC, complete VPC stack, and using that VPC, the subnet, for my for my EC2 instance. The idea of doing that is to refresh our memory on how to do it, and how to walk around VPC. Okay, great. So to use my VPC, I'll go to my search bar, type VPC, click VPC. I just want to create one quick subnet and the rest. So click VPC, click on create VPC. Let me call it demo VPC. The CEDAR block will be, let me take it 20 dot 20.0, say 20.0 20/16. That's my CEDAR block. That's all. That's all. Click on what? Create. Now in that VPC, I want to create subnets. Just one subnet. Create subnets. Inside this VPC, demo VPC. I'll call that subnet demo sub. All right. Availability zone is this guy. Then the CEDAR will be 20.0.1.0/24. Okay, great. That's it. Create subnet. I want to create a route table. Go to route table, create route table. I'll call it what? Demo ROT. In which VPC? In my demo VPC. I'll click on what? Create route table. I need to create an internet gateway to give that guy internet access. Create internet gateway. Come here, call it demo IGW. All right, that's it. Create internet gateway. Now I need to attach the internet gateway to my VPC. I'll click on what? Attach to a VPC. Select your VPC. Here is my demo VPC. And click on what? Attach internet gateway. Now I need to do my associations. I'll come to route table. I'll go to my demo route table. I'll go to route. I'll click on what? Edit route. Now I'll click on what? Add a route. Come over here. Routes everywhere, everywhere. All right. Come over here. Select what? Internet gateway. My internet gateway that I created is going to pop up. Click on it. Click on what? Save. Save changes. I've linked my IGW to my route table. Then I need to link my subnet to my route table. Go to subnet. This is my subnet. Come to route table. Edit route table association. Select the route table. Demo route table. That is it. Click on save. One more thing with your subnet. Select the subnet. Go to actions. Click on edit subnet settings and enable auto assign public IP and click on save. I am done with my VPC stack. That's all, guys. Let me just duplicate this this tab and go to EC2. 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 So I just need to launch an instance. All right. Launch an instance. Let me call it demo VM. All right. This VM is based on Linux. Sorry, it's based on Amazon Linux. I want to use Amazon Linux 2, right? Because it has more. Why I always use Amazon Linux 2? There's difference between Amazon Linux 2 and Amazon Linux 2003. This guy was released just this year, and there are some features that are production ready features that this image lacks. This 2003 image lacks. So that's why I always go for this Amazon Linux 2 because it contains everything. All right, Amazon Linux 2. Okay, all right. So if you want a pre-built SQL server, an image with a pre-built SQL server, you have it in this guy. SQL Server 2019, 2017. If you need this should be a Linux with PowerShell. Linux with PowerShell with .NET Core 6 with Mate desktop environment. You see it in this image. So you see different types of image. Now, deep learning AMI, these are for machine learning, right? They have machine learning features, machine learning packages, machine learning services. You can see TensorFlow with TensorFlow. So if you want an AMI for machine learning, you can always pick it from here. So there are different AMIs for different purposes, right? So this is just ordinary AMI. It's empty, all right? This AMI I'm taking Linux 2 is empty. There's nothing on it. I have to start installing whatever I want, okay? So select this guy. That's it. So scroll. My key pair is Frankie. Network settings. My demo VPC, here you are. Subnet enabled. Security group. I think do I have a security group here? All right, so let me create. I need to create a security group. let me call it demo SG. All right, demo SG, enable SSH. And that's all. That's all. Click on what? Launch instance. So let's view our instance. So here is what? The demo VM. It takes some time to come up. Take some time. All right, so now this guy is up now. So I will select the VM. I'll go to connect and I will copy my connection string. I'll copy it. I'll come to my base machine, my terminal. This is my terminal. So I'll go to where I have my key. So my key is under downloads. I'll paste this frankie.pem is under downloads. If I check it, there's a frankie.pem. You can see it. All right. So I have to paste it there. 1 second. All right. Enter. So now it's going to ask for my fingerprints. I say yes. Now I have successfully logged on towards this cloud VM from my base machine. I've logged on towards the cloud VM from my base machine via SSH. All right? Via SSH. Okay, great. So now we want to start with what? Linux basic commands. All right? Linux basic commands. There are a few we need to talk about. The Linux basic commands. Very basic. ls, cd, mv, cp, mkdir. If you remember, you can tell me. Cat, touch. Yes, if you remember, you can tell me.
RM.
Sudo.
What?
Sudo.
Sudo.
Yep.
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Grep.
Grep. No, we're not there yet. It's too far. Yes, if you still remember. Okay, if you remember, you let me know. All right. So now let's start defining it. Let's define them. ls is called list. This is used to list the contents of a directory. Okay, we have one guy called pwd. Now, why I define it, let's try it. Come over here. Take note, guys. It's used to list the contents of a directory, right? Now, a directory is a folder, but in Linux, we don't call it folder. We call it directory. It is in Windows, it's a folder. Please go to that C folder, C drive. Go to bin, go to the public folder. Go to download folder. That's on Windows. But in Linux, we call it what? Directory. We have files, and directory. All of these are represented as what? File. They are represented as file. It doesn't matter if it is a file. It doesn't matter if it's a directory. They are all called files. All right? Great. Now let's check ls. ls. It means this directory is a directory I am in. It's empty. Now let's use one stone to kill two birds. Let me come down here now. This guy means print working directory. That's what that PWD means. Print working directory. This is used to display the position of the current directory. It tells you where you are. This command tells you your position in the Linux file system. Now let's check that. So I don't know where I am, but I want to know where I am. In what directory I am in. In which directory I am in. I'll just say pwd. Oh, I'm under /home/ec2 user. Ordinarily, I won't get to know from my prompt. It's not possible. The only way I could know where I am, where are you? Where are you? pwd. Oh, this is where I am. I'm under what? /home/user. /ec2 user. All right. Now, I want to show us better thing with the ls. Okay. Let's add this guy. Let's add it. Don't worry. Let's add the sudo guy. Sudo. All right. This is used to gain privilege rights. When you use sudo, all right, you are becoming the root user. By this command, you are becoming the root user. So it means you are using root privilege to perform some certain tasks. You are using the root privilege to perform some certain task. That is what sudo does. Now, I want to gain access into, I want to switch user. Yes, in this course, we're also talking about this guy. SU, switch user. This is used to switch from one user to the other. You see it now. Sudo, because ordinarily if I say switch user, it will request for my password. And if I give a password, it will complain because this user, I've not given this guy a password yet. When we shall come to password users management. This user is in the sudoers group by default. All right. But this user does not have that kind of privilege. So switch user to root. I'm switching user now to root. It won't go. It always asks for password. But now I want to use sudo. That will not ask for password because it has already been configured for this particular user. We shall show us all of these things, how to do it when we get there. I will now use sudo. Sudo su -root. Now, I'm using root privilege to perform this action. I'm assuming root privilege. to perform this action. So if I press enter, look at now, the prompt will change. My prompt has changed from a $sign to written to a hash symbol. If you're running on a $sign, it means that you are an unprivileged user. Take note, guys. If you are running on a $sign, it means that you are running on an unprivileged account. But if you are running on a hash symbol, it means that you are running with the root account. You always see what the username here, root. Now let me exit. To exit back to the user, type exit. I'm back to that user. I've logged out. Now let me use another method. Switch user -I. This I means the identity of the root by default. If I hit enter, sudo su dash, why the moon now? No, just lines. Come on. Okay, sorry. Without no su, sorry. All right. Sudo assume the root identity. Sudo -I will log me in as a root user. Great. Now, I need to check my location, my position. So I'll always type what? PWD. Now we have now seen /root. And what did we say is /root? /root is the what? Is the super user's home directory. This place, /root is the root home directory, the root user's home directory. Now, let's come back to this ls. If I do ls now, I can't see anything. Now, we have what? The root mount point, which is /. All right. So I need to change into that mount point. Now look at this tilde, call it tiled. But most author call it tilde. They pronounce it like tilde, right? This symbol, tiled, is on my system here. All right. Tile symbol. This tile symbol tells you that you are in your home. You are in your home. Now, let me exit. If I exit back, look at now. I'm in this user's home, the EC2 user, PWD. This guy is in his home. So that's why you're seeing what? The tile symbol here. Now, sudo -I, PWD. The root user is in his home directory. That's why you're getting what? The tile symbol here. If I change directory, now we are onto this second guy now. All right. I'm not through with ls. I'm not through with ls, guys. It's just these commands are dependent on each other. So that's why I'm moving. Now let's talk about this cd. They are so dependent. Change directory. That is what it means. This is used to switch from one directory to the other. That's what cd does. Let's go back there now. Now I want to change to my what? To the root mount point, where I'm going to see all of these guys, /etc, /var, /root, /dev, /lib, /bin, you name them. Change directory. Now look at now. This guy has changed from the tile symbol to the root mount point. It's now telling me that I'm no longer in the root home. I'm no longer in /root. I'm now somewhere else. So if I do pwd, look at where I am now. I am now in the root file system. Gong, gong. I've switched sync directory into the root file system, main. Now, if I do my ls, because this directory has files in it, I am seeing files in them. I'm seeing files in them. Now, ls comes with some flags. We call them flag. All right. We call it flag. ls-l. ls space -l. -l means long listing. I don't like the way these files are presented. I don't get to see the full detail about the files. I'm only seeing the file name, but I don't know the owner to the file. I don't know the group the file belongs to. I don't know when the file was created. I don't know when it was modified. I want to have those information. What command do I use? I'll use what? -l with what? ls. This -l means long listing. Take note, guys. -l means long listing. Let's check it out. So with ls-l, I should be able, sorry guys. I should be able to see the full detail about these directories in the mount point. Now I'm seeing /bin. I'm seeing some things L, arrow, WX, this, 1, root, 7, September, 12, this, D, that. We shall wrap today's session with file type. File types. Remind me, guys. Okay, so that's long listing. Okay, now if I need to list hidden files, I'll say -a. Again, they're not well presented. I'll always align with, I'll always attach it with L, long listing, ls-la. Now, the -a, this is used to list hidden files. There are files that are hiding in the Linux file system. So for you to see those files, you must use the -a flag. If you don't use the -a flag, you can't see those files. So the -a file, the -a flag enables you to see those files. What are those files? Any file that starts with dots in a Linux file system is known as a hidden file. Look at now. Now this dot auto relabel is a hidden file. So if I create a file, touch with a dot, frank, if I try to use ls-la, I won't see that file. It is only when I add a, I will see the file. Can you see it? .frank. So hidden file is preceded with a dot, then the file name. Take note, guys. Hidden files in Linux. Now, if you need to learn more about a command, there is another command called man. We call it manual. This is used to provide help on any command. Let's check it out. So I want to read more. I want to get more information about ls. I want to check the flags I could use against ls. I'll say man space the command name. Man space the command name. Enter. Now see now. What does this ls do? It lists directory contents, synopsis, description, List information about the files, the current directory by default. Sort entries alphabetically if none of this nor this is specified. Now, -A means all hidden files. Do not ignore entries starting with a dot. Capital A, do not list implied almost all. I've not used this capital A before. ls-la. Okay, do not include this dot. There's this dot and this dot. These are from the system files. So you don't need to include them. Let's go back there. So you just have to try this thing one after the other. All right? Will show us. Right? Now you want to list only list directories themselves, not their contents. /D and a lot more. All right, we have -H. Now see, these files, they have a size. This is a size. I will explain the role of this content when we get to file types. I will explain everything about that guy. Right? So ls-, maybe when I get there, I will have to use some other flags. -H now. I should change something in kilobytes. Okay, this is in kilobytes. So -H is human readable format. It presents the size in kilobytes. You can see this in bytes. This is in kilobytes already. These are all in bytes, etc., etc. Let's move forward. We've seen a bit of change directory. Now let's look into change directory more. Now you can see long listing. I have /boot. Let me see what's inside this /boot. So I'll say cd space boot. Enter. List the contents. So these are bootable files. So this is a directory. I will explain when I come to file type. What's a directory? What's a file? What is a block file? What's a character file? What's a device file? Etc., etc. Now, PWD, always use your PWD to know where you are in the file system. I can now change grub. Now, if you see, these commands are coming, I can see there's something called auto completion, aka command completion. For instance, I say cd grub. I don't want to type this command in this feature in full as in this grub. I don't want to type it in full. In as much as I've targeted the first two characters and there's no other file that begins with gr, I will press tab on my keyboard. The moment I press tab on my keyboard, it's going to auto-complete it. It's going to complete it for me automatically. So I press tab, you can see it has completed it for me. Change directory. PWD. I'm under /boot/grub. Let's check the content of that guy. This is where I am. I also want to go into what? i386. Change directory. i386-PC. I don't need to type this thing in full. All I need to do is just my tab key to complete it. Enter. PWD. This is my location. Check the content. These are different files. You can see these are different files, which means I don't understand what they are. Now, PWD, this is where we are. So I want to go a step backward. To go a step backward, a directory backward, So now I have 3 directories now. 1, 2, 3. I'm in this current directory. So I want to go back to this group 2. What I would do, I'll say cd space dot dot. Cd space dot dot will take me a step backward. Enter. pwd. I'm now inside what? Group 2. Now, if I want to go back to this guy without typing it, I'll say cd space dash. It will take me back to the directory I was coming from. So now, if I want to go back, a step backward, cd space dot dot. I'm here. If I need to go back again, cd space dot dot. I'm here. If I need to go back, chill. If I need to go back, cd space dot dot. I'm now here. ls, this is where I am. So I think we've done much on cd. So if you need to learn more about cd, say man cd. You read things about what? Change directory. All right. So these are flags you can use with change directories. I've never used these flags. It's just this normal this thing I'm using, the cd. To go out of here, look at this information here. Manual page, line 80. Press H for help or Q to quit. I'll press Q. I've just quitted. Now Q I press. That was what? cd. Now move. But before I talk about move, let's create our own directory that we will work with. Okay. Let me go out of the root file system. So I'll type what? Exit. pwd. I'm now back to my what? Normal user. So this guy has no file. This guy only have, these are the hidden files that this guy has. So if I want to omit this dot and dot dot, I'll use capital what? Capital A. You see difference between small a and capital A. Capital A will omit these 2 dot dots. All right. Now this guy is empty. I need to create some files. Now to make a directory, I use what? mkdir. Make directory. This command is used to create a directory. Let's see it. mkdir, mkdir class created. pwd ls-l. A directory has been created. Create more directories. Demo. mkdir Niger ls. So with this method, I am creating individual directories. What if I need to create directory that has a structure of parent child, 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 parent child. Okay, come on. All right. Now, how do I do it? Now say mkdir -p, capital P there, but I'll say Nigeria. Okay, let me start with continent. Continent. Africa. Take note, Linux is case sensitive. Capital A Africa is not the same thing as small a Africa. They are 2 different files. Take note, guys. Take note. They are 2 different files. Capital A Africa is not small a Africa. Take note, guys. Slash West Africa slash Nigeria slash Lagos, no, slash South West slash Lagos slash Maryland. So now this command with this flag dash capital P, it will enable me to create all of these directory at once. So if I hit enter, oh, small p, sorry. Not capital P, guys, small p, please. Small p. So if I hit enter, it has been created. Let's check. Continent. Let's list continents. Africa. Let's list Africa. Now, I am using my arrow key. If you check your keyboard, all right, there's a key that points to the left. There's one that points up, and that points to the right, and there's one that points down, all right? So what I'm pressing to recall a command, I will press the upper arrow key to recall a command. You always hear me, recall. To recall a command, use the upper arrow key. So if I use the upper arrow key, you can see now, I'm recalling all the commands that I've typed on the system. I'm recalling all the commands I have typed on this system. All right, that's it. So let's check. Now, with this, I can list contents without changing directory. Africa, West Africa, Nigeria. Now, we've seen make directory. Let's look at move and copy. So I want to move Niger to this Niger directory. So it means I have to say MV Niger to where? To continent, Africa, West Africa, Nigeria. I'll press enter. If I do ls-l now, I'm not going to see this guy again because this guy has been moved from this location into what? Niger location. Now let's check if it's there. ls, continent, Africa, West Africa, Nigeria. Let's list the content. So if I list the content of Nigeria, I now have Southwest with what? Niger, the directory that I moved. Similarly, if I need to copy, I can't copy this guy. It's only move. You can only move directory. Files, you can copy files. All right. You can also copy directory. Right, but there's a way we'll do it. Now copy. See, I need to use copy to copy this guy, but I must add a flag. So copy dash arrow. This arrow means recursive. Recursively, brute forcefully copy that directory. Class. Copy class, let's see it will go into demo. Into demo. Enter. So it means that I will have a copy, I'll still have a copy of class inside this present directory. Then I will have a copy of class inside of demo. Now let's check. I still have class here. Let's check demo. You can see I have copied class into what? Demo. Now move. Let's come here. Move. This command is used to move files and directories. This guy has dual function, the move command. This command could also be used to rename a file or directory. Now, we have seen the first function of that MV. Let's see the second function, to rename a file or a directory. Now, I have class. I need to rename a class. I need to rename a class of something else. So I'll say move class, remove that dash, remove that dash, to remove that slash, sorry. Move class to mega. So I'm going to rename class to mega. Enter. I've renamed. Now, this is what is happening. Take what is available into what is not available. That's what this guy means. Now, this guy is available. This guy is present. This guy is not present. So move this guy into this guy. So I'm renaming this guy because this mega does not exist. So it's going to rename it. It's going to override mega with what? Class. So if I do ls now, I'll see that class has been changed towards mega. Now, to really check if this thing is working, let's do that with demo. So I say mv demo into demo new. Enter. I've renamed it. Let's check. Demo new. Let's check if demo new has a content that we copied into it, which was class. It still preserve that content, class. So we can what? Rename a file or a directory. We can also move a file or a directory. Okay, let's see the next guy. Copy. Copy. This command is used to copy files and directories. Copy. We saw how we copy the directory with a flag -arrow. -arrow means recursive. Ordinarily, you can't copy a directory. You can only move a directory. But if you add the -arrow flag, then you'll be able to what? To copy the directory. Let's create one more directory. Mama, ls. So I need to copy mama into what? Demo new. Copy, CO, mama into demo new. It's going to complain that mama is a directory. Omitting directory, mama. So the only way I can do this is by adding a flag, -arrow, mama, into what? Demo. That's gone. Check the content of what? Demo. You can see I have mama has been copied. Now let me jump to touch. Touch is touch. This command is used to create a file of size 0 bytes. That's whenever you use touch to create a file, the size of that file will be 0. An empty file is used to create an empty file. It's used to create an empty file. That's what touch does. Let's check. Touch, pick a file, created. Touch, mimi file. Touch, finance.txt, a text file. Touch, payments.csv. Let's check. You can see the color separation between a file and a directory. We are still going to show us other color separations. There is green, there is red. There are different colors. They mean different things. When you see a blue, it means that's a directory. I'll still explain why these guys are like this when we come to what file type. When you see black, it's a file. Now we've seen what touch, how to create an empty file. You can copy files. CP, copy PK file into continents. If I check continent now, I have a directory and a file. I still have that file here because I only copied, I didn't move it. I can move a mem file, move mem file into mama directory. Check the content of mama. I have mem file. I could rename a file. I could rename this PK file to something else. Move PK to KK file.txt. Let's check. I've renamed PK towards KK. Now we are moving on. Now come to cats. Cats is concatenate. This is used to display the contents of a file. It's the content of a file. I didn't mention directory. It displays the contents of a what? Of a file. It has dual purpose. This could be used to create a file. Yes, a cat could be used to display the content of a file and could also be used to view the file. Sorry, to create a file. Let's see how to create a file first so we can have what to view. Now, to create a file, I'll say cat. I will append a greater than symbol. I will append a greater than symbol. I'll call it file.csv. Now it has opened kind of a socket for me to start typing. This file was created with the enter cat command. I hope you like it. See you at the top. Now, this thing will keep typing until you send a end of file signal. This will keep typing until the typer or the typist sends an end of file signal. So how do we send the end of file signal? To send an end of file signal, you should press Ctrl+D on your keyboard. So if I press Ctrl+D now, it will terminate. To save this content. Ctrl+D. I've just pressed Ctrl+D on my keyboard. Now let's check. I'll use cat to view the content of that file. The file name is what? Is file.csv. So if I say cat file.csv, enter. You can see, cat this. I'm seeing this contents. Remember, if I want to append content into the file, I need to do this guy again. I need to follow the greater than sign with double greater than sign symbol. It means greater than, double greater than. I have challenge pronouncing greater than. All right. Double greater than. Okay. Then the file name. With this method, I'll be able to append a file, append another content instead of this file. So I'll press enter. Let me give you a space. This part was appended. To terminate, Control D. Now let's check. Cat file. You can see this part was appended. If I don't do it like this, if I put only one of this symbol, it will override what I have there. Let's try it. Cat greater than symbol. Then the file name. Enter. This content is now overwritten. Control D. Let's check that file. Cat file. You can see it. Because of what I only use one sign, the one symbol, the one greater than symbol is used to create the file. So while the file has been created, if you want to add more content to the file, okay, you must use double greater than symbol. If you don't use double greater than symbol, the new content you put is going to override it, what you have there already. So be careful, because you use this thing a lot in production. So be careful, so you don't end up overwriting what is the content of a file. So we've seen what cat could be used for, both as displaying the content of a file, as well as creating a file. We've seen touch. So now let's see how to remove these guys. RM is remove. This command is used to remove files. But there are some flags we'll use that will remove directories. Let me add it, and directories. Let's check. Now, I have the payment.csv file. I want to remove it. RM, payments, enter. It's gone. Check. The file is gone. Can I remove a directory with this method? RM, demo, or let me say mega. Cannot remove mega. It is a directory. So to remove mega, I will attach, to remove a directory, I will attach another flag, dash arrow. I will remove dash recursive. Arrow means recursive. Then mega is gone. Now let's check a directory that has a content like this. Mama has a content. If I use this guy, just only arrow, let me check if it will remove this mama. Oh, it's move it. So with the dash arrow flag, you can actually delete a directory. All right. So that is the play so far. Now we have this command called 3. PWD. LS. So if I need to see the structure of this directory I am now, because you know everything, this guy is a directory. It's a user that becomes a directory. All right. When it comes to users management, you will understand this thing very well. It's a directory. So if I want to see this structure, I want to see directories with their files. I'll just type 3. Oh, I will have to install it. Let me just install it, guys. Just pretend as if you're not seeing this thing I'm doing. Yum install 3. So I've just installed that package that controls the command. So if I type 3 now, so 3, it's going to display the directory structure with their contents and their files. So you can see I have continents, demo new, and these files, they are on the same level. They're on the same level. That means they are on the same hierarchy. Africa is inside of continents. West Africa is inside of Africa. Nigeria is inside of West Africa. Niger and Southwest is on the same level. So they are both inside of Nigeria. Lagos is inside of Southwest. Maryland is inside of what? Lagos. Now, PK file and Africa, they are on the same level. That's what it means. In this demo, class and mama, they're on the same level. Both are inside of what? Demo new. And all of these are on the same level. So with these 3 commands, you see the structure of your directory and the contents. All right? Great. This command displays the directory structure with their contents. Still, this command is used to view the last 10 lines of a file. The last 10 lines of a file. Let's check it out. Now I have an important file. I want to check the content of this file. etc passwd. Passwd is a passport, it's a user's file, right? You get to know this file very well when we start when we go into users management. So this file controls all the users that are created in the Linux file system. You can see the EC2 user is a user. All right. So any user you create, automatically Linux is going to create an entry inside of this file. So now I want to use tail to view the last 10 lines. So I'll say tail /etc passwd. Let me clean the screen. To clean your screen, you type clear. It clears your screen. Now there's a short form for this guy. The short form is Control plus L on your keyboard. So I press Control L to just clear the screen for me. Control L clears your screen. Now, let's do that tail again. Tail /etc passwd. Enter. So it displays the what? The last 10 lines. So how do we know that these are 10 lines? Now, there's another basic command called word count. Word count. This is used to count the number of lines and characters. In a file. Let's check it out. Now, word count /etc passwd. This guy is giving me the number of, it starts with the number of rows. I have how many rows? I have 26 rows. I have 45 columns. And I have 1,312 characters. All right. But now I need to sandwich this command with this command. When we get to regular expression, somebody mentioned grep. All right. when we get to regular expression, we shall talk more about something that's a feature called piping, right? So I want to pipe these two commands. I want to sandwich these two commands together to work together. So I want to use more than one command. So I'll say tail slash etc pass wd. So while I'm using tail is going to give me this number of the last 10 lines. But how do I know there are last 10 lines? I'll record it. I'm going to use this symbol called pipe. Don't worry, we are going to learn all of this piping in more detail when we get to that topic. Word count. I just need only the line number, which is the row. Let's check. So what is guys giving me? I don't want it to give me rows, column, character. If I want character, I will remove this flag -L and I'll just hit enter. So you can see now, it's giving me what? 10 rows, 23 columns, and 624 characters. But I don't want all those too much of information. I just need only the rows. So it is 10. We've started playing, though we've not started playing, though we are still scratching the surface. We've not even scratched the surface. All right? There are beautiful things we will do. We are coming. So this was tail. Similarly, there's another command called head. This command is used to view the first 10 lines of a file. Now, but what if I want to print the first 2 lines? Is there any way I can modify it? Yes. What if I need to print the last 2 lines, the last 5 lines, any number of lines? I can do it. This is what I'll do. I'll say tail. Tail comes with a flag called -N. So this -N, I can specify the number of lines I want to display. I just want 2 lines from the bottom of this file, pass WD, enter. You just give me what? Those 2 lines. I can sandwich it between my word count -L to just give me 2. What if I just need 20 or 12? 12. I get 12. Remove this one. Just give me 12. 12 last lines from the bottom. That's it. Now let's look at head. So with head, I can etc pass WD. The first, let me clear my screen. The first 10 lines from the top. That's it. How do we know? Grep it. Word count -L. The first 10 lines. What if I need to print just only 5? -N 5. Just 5. Sandwich it with word counts. Just 5. This is the whole play. Then history. This command is used to view all the commands in the Linux file system you have been typing. Everything you have been doing, you have been typing, is saved under what? History. So if I want to see, I just type history, enter, to show me everything. So far, I've typed what? 101 commands since I created this guy. The first command we launched was ls pwd, just like that. So if you want to trace what somebody has been doing here, you can just type history, you see it. But you can clear this history. But before I clear history, let's do other things. Let me show you other things. Now, if I don't want to type this command again, I want to recall this command, all right? I will precede the number 90 with an exclamation sign. Exclamation 90 is going to run line 90 for me again. Enter. See what happened? That's line 90. If I want line 90, 89, exclamation sign 89 to run everything for me again. That is part of history. Now, what if I want to clear this history? I don't want anybody to see what I have done. I'll say history dash C. Yeah, capital C thereabouts. No, small c. Small c. I have cleared the whole history. If I type history now, nothing is showing. So history is just the first command. But these things are somewhere. These two commands, they've gone somewhere. They've gone somewhere. They are somewhere. The files they are recorded somewhere. Let's check the contents of this directory. I was supposed to get bash history, bash underscore history. Okay, bash underscore history is not here. Let me check something. etc scale. Let me check. Let me check. All right, I don't have it. I'm coming on. Cats dot bash underscore logout. It's not there. RC. It's not there. So you just cleared your history. It's supposed to be under bash underscore history. There's supposed to be, but don't worry, don't get there. That's history. Then echo is used to display this command is used to display back a command. I don't know if that statement is correct. This command is used to display back a statement. It's used to display back a statement. Now, for instance, now anything I echo, it comes back to me. If I say echo Frank, it's going to output Frank. What that which you want it to echo, that's what it's going to echo. All right. So yeah, guys, with this echo commands, I want to call today's session to an end. Let me leave this file type for tomorrow. Just remind us tomorrow. We'll start with file type, all right, and find our way down. So far, so good, guys. Is there any query? Is there any query? All right. Since there's no query, I'd love to end this session, and I'd love to see us tomorrow. Please, who is Popo? Who is Popo? Don't sleep. Who is Popo now? Talk now. Stop recording.